Good night, Comrade Wavell. Welcome to Politics Church Nightly with me, the Right Mango, and you are live on both TikTok and YouTube. Now, comrades, Comrade Wavell Hinds is the Deputy Gen Sec of Outreach, and he's also the spokesperson, the opposition spokesperson on sports. Is it Labor and Sports, Comrade?
Labor and Sports.
Labor and Sports. And well, I hearing some things tonight, Comrade Wavell. I see something report in the news. You have to go verify it for me. I'm seeing on the news, the new CVM, as reported by CVM TV, that you have been selected as the standard bearer for North Clarendon. Is this accurate information?
Good evening to you, Bright Mango Kamla.
Good evening.
Good evening to your audience on both platforms. And thanks for having me on your show. It is indeed correct. I want to say thanks to the leadership of the People's National Party, Comrade Leader, General Secretary, and all the other decision makers. And of course, respect you and thanks to the executive and leadership of North Clarendon who have agreed to accept me as their standard bearer. And of course, to all the other influencers and decision makers within that constituency. And it is early days, but I have received endorsement from most persons so far, and we look to continue to build those relationships in putting out a team so that we can make a good attempt at taking over the constituency and putting it in a column of the People's National Party.
Well, congratulations to you, Comrade Hinds. It's well deserved, and you're getting a lot of congratulations from the viewers on both TikTok and YouTube. So congratulations to you, sir.
Thanks much from everybody.
Yes, we look forward to seeing the good work that you do in Northern Clarendon. We know that a lot of work is there to be done.
Yes, it is.
All right. So, we want to talk about the cricket now. Incidentally, I was on the flight today with the South Africans coming to Fort Lauderdale. I realized that they will be camping here for the World Cup. So I took some photos with them still. I told them no hard feelings after the thrashing they got at Sabina Park from the West Indies, and I have to again congratulate you on that front, because you are an integral part of the West Indies cricket team, being the president of the West Indies Players Association, and of course, one of our most prolific cricketers to play the game for the West Indies. So congrats to you on that front as well.
Thank you very much.
All right. But said the whole of we vex say we not get none of the game them, right?
Well, me vex too.
Well, that is what I want to kick off the conversation with, because before we go to the facts, boy, the one, Andrew and Babsy, I'm not being disrespectful now, but they were there hobnobbing and rubbing shoulders and acting like they even like cricket, because that did burn me still, You understand? Apart from disrespecting Comrade PJ Patterson. They were acting like they like cricket. I want you to tell me now. Tell me about this whole situation with West Indies cricket and why it is that the T20 international, the ICC T20 World Cup cricket competition is coming up, and there will be it's hosted by the West Indies, in the West Indies. Down to America get game and we not get game. Talk to me about that.
All right. So let me start off by saying that the ICC T20 World Cup for 2024 will be hosted by the West Indies and the US of A. Mm-hmm. And games are spread across both nations. And games are allotted to respective countries. As it's for the Caribbean, we are a unique set because we have about 14 private, or I should say individual sovereignties, but we come together to play cricket as we do come together to have a university.
Right.
And as such, games are allocated within our space based upon a bidding process. And that bidding process was a year ago or more, and Jamaica didn't bid. And when they found out that Jamaica didn't bid, it was extended for Jamaica. And the reason for it being extended because Jamaica is the biggest English-speaking Caribbean country, and Jamaica is the country that is the biggest cricketing nation in the Caribbean. So the region look forward to us to be, leading in a lot of ways. Not that the other persons are minors are less than us, but geographically we have the space. Technically, we have the capacity, and of course, we also have the facilities that can facilitate the development and promotion of the game in a very, very structured and systematic way. Those games were not bid for, and when the Jamaica Cricket Association was reached, they said that they did their part and submitted to the government of Jamaica. Now, the bidding has to be done not by the Cricket Association, which is the Jamaica Cricket Association. They have a role to prepare the cricketing document in collaboration with the government, but the bidding must be done by the government because the ICC, when they're hosting World Cups, wants to take the event to the country, so they need to speak with the government because it will impact different sectors. As you know, our comrade leaders speak about sector linkages, and we are big on that. So sports will be linked with tourism, sport will be linked with health, it will be linked with national security because you can have terrorism people coming to do very bad things to us. Sports will be linked to industry and commerce, and sports naturally, if you're coming having overseas teams coming, it must be linked to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Indeed.
So which country do we have those sort of collaboration with? We have treaties with? Do we have countries coming to Jamaica that needs visa? Do we have health issues? The Ministry of Health needs to check out if there's anybody coming with yellow fever, whatever. Then the Ministry of Health needs to provide this sort of technical support, having the hospitals with the facilities that the foreigners are here or visitors are here, and they need to get health care, that we have the facilities that they can get direct treatment to, especially the playing staff and the support unit, the camera crews, the commentary group. So those are things that need to be discussed long in advance for you to decide that you're going to bid for a game, because you need to provide those technical assistance. When it gets to the wharf and the airports, to clear stuff, people, the cameras are there. There are ton load of equipment that comes into the country to play the game. Those things need to be clear through the wharf. The tariffs and the taxes need to be waived. Just the amusement taxes that is done by the municipal corporation needs to be addressed for exemptions. So there's a lot of thought that goes into it, and it's very technical. It's not just setting up 6 stumps, 3 at either end, and just playing a cricket game.
Yeah.
And then there's tourism side of it, where the marketing comes in. When the television crews are up, do they go around to the caves and the valleys and the beaches and the different greenery and sites that Jamaica has as a beautiful country, film those, and then we do an ad to put those on the TV while the game is going on, so that the viewers around the world can see what Jamaica is like. So even if they didn't make it for the World Cup, they'll want to come back to Jamaica, come to Jamaica after the World Cup to come and explore what we have on offer. Those sort of opportunities, having a World Cup, it is easier to market the country through those lenses, because it's cheaper and easier than to go out and do infomercial and promotional ads that will take them around. So the country didn't bid, and I will want to get a little more technical now, Kamla.
Yeah.
The country didn't bid because the structures of the sport is not there. The last time when I checked, we probably did a proper pass a proper law or any bill to support sports was when we did it for JADCO, and that is the anti-doping sector that tests the athletes. The track and field is probably the most prominent athletes that get checked. Football, netball, frontier playing international sports, and it falls under the auspices of WADA, the World Anti-Doping people. Then JADCO is a creature of parliament that's mandatory that you have to subject yourself to it once you become an elite athlete or a professional athlete, and that is fine. But what about laws and bills to deal with tariffs and taxes and exemptions? What about laws and bills to deal with or would deal with visa matters? If our athletes are leaving for the Olympics, if our athletes are leaving to go to the World Cup, and they're going to a country like the USA, or they're going to England, anywhere in Europe, and any Schengen visa and those things, do we have policies and relationships with the foreign countries to say we can fast track these athletes to make sure that they get those exemptions? So we need to put in the structures and things that will support it. Now we had the benefit of being led by one honorable former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, and she had created under her tenure as a Minister of Sports herself, a Minister of Labour, similar to what I'm shadowing now as a spokesperson. And she created the National Sports Council. And that Sports Council has not met since 2016 when we demitted office. Meaning we, the People's National Party, demitted office on the 25th of February 2016. And that Sports Council would have had all the major sports there represented, with the technical persons from placed there by the government or by the Ministry of Sports. And they will look at all the major sports, what are the major events coming up, what are the major development things you have. And for instance, cricket, West Indies have retired back to cricket now. World Cup coming in 2024, they would have seen that from 2022, 2020, and they would have put things in place and would have brought a paper to cabinet to say these are the things that are happening. Cricket is coming up in 2024. We need to bid by this period, maybe 18 months in advance. We need to have these things in place. Cabinet would have discussed it, and they would have checked it. If all is well, they would have signed off on it, and if not, they would have sent back to say review this, review that, so that we're in a position to get World Cup. Cricket is the national sport of the country, for persons who don't remember. Cricket is the national sport. So when I get to the social side of it, cricket is the sport that would have helped us in our civilization as a Caribbean people. Cricket is the first thing that West Indians used to accept that we are of worth. When we came off the slave ship, cricket started from we were ball fetchers. When the slave masters used to play cricket, we used to have to go and fetch the ball and then bring them back. Then we started to play with them and we beat them at it, and then they included us in the team, but in a sort of a discriminatory way. We were amateurs, so we couldn't sit in the same dressing room as our slave master while we were playing on the same team. We couldn't eat at the same table as them. And we'd have used cricket to break down those barriers and the evolution of it as to where we are today, where we are world champions. We'd have won 250 over World Cups and been to 3 consecutive finals. We'd have won a Champions Trophy, and we have won 2 T20 World Cup. So with that sort of legacy in the white ball version, the shorter version, to come to this point where the World Cup is coming to the Caribbean for the second time. It was in 2010, it was in the Caribbean. And we are, since 2010 to now, we have won 2 titles. For Jamaica not to bid for a World Cup, it is a retrograde step. It is a missed opportunity, and it is something that was going to hurt our cricket. We would have missed the opportunity of renovating the stadium at Savannah Park to make it better, world class. And the economical thing, we needed to invest $3 million to renovate the stadium, and the bidding fee was something like $1.2 million. So with a multiplier effect of making at least $12 to $15 million back on that money after the World Cup would have come and gone. Local commerce will have boomed. The Franklin Town, Kingston, Central Kingston, Kingston Gardens, Almontown, Campbelltown, Woodford Park, all the neighboring communities around Savannah Park. The residents of those areas would have benefited. If even from they're selling drinks, from the parking opportunities, and just from having the boom in the area, the local commerce will have boomed. So that is good. The social side also says the school children we saw at Savannah Park over the last 3 days against South Africa would have got a chance to see world-class players right in front of their eyes.
Indeed.
They could have interfaced with them, autographs, photos, handshakes, hugs, and then that would have lifted their moral and their parents' moral to encourage them to stay in the sport and to get in the game. Cricket provides also a lot of educational opportunities in scholarships, and that's another sector linkage that we need to think about. So there's no proper thought process for the sport. We need to be thinking in sports from recreational to professional So from recreational, which is a social thing in the community, from local government right up to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, where we want to take our sports overseas. We provide the West Indies captain is from Jamaica, Rahman Powell.
Yes.
Lives in Wolaba, went to Wolaba High School, a university graduate at the West Indies. Andre Russell is from Jamaica, lives in, I think, Freeport, in Clarendon, the
Freetown.
Freetown in Clarendon, right? And also we have Brandon King, past student of Mona Prep, and the Mona Prep students were at practice to meet Brandon and share with him in that moment. He went to Campion High School.
Yes, he did. Campion College, not high school.
Campion
College.
Campion College. All right. Don't get too tribal. That's fine. Sorry. And he was the interim captain. He won't be the captain for the World Cup, but he was captain for the 3 games here. And he's the captain for Kingston Cricket Club, which is based at Savannah Park. So there's a lot of rich history from him. You want to so the youngsters got a chance to do that. So if we are taking away from our people, we're not providing opportunities for our people. That's what the government is supposed to do. Provide the space, provide the platform, provide the infrastructure, the laws, and the bills and the regulations so that our people can develop and advance, so that we can empower people so that they can go out and be the best in the world and have a good quality of life and make the space better for the next generation. I don't think this government understand what sports means in its form. They don't. If I was to segue a little bit from cricket and go over to the National Stadium for the lights. The lights have not been working there. I highlighted those during the National Girls and Boys Championship.
Yes.
And asked the minister about it. And now we're hearing that CONCACAF and FIFA is saying that the World Cup qualifier that is coming up soon cannot be played there under lights. So the game can be played in Jamaica, but the game must still start at 3 o'clock if the lights are not ready before a particular date. Yes. The game is slated to start at 6 or 6:30, and the CONCACAF are saying that the lights that are there are not adequate. And if the game will still be played, that's to start at 3, which means the persons who go to school and work cannot get an opportunity to watch a game. That's because we don't think things through properly, and the stadium is managed by the government through Independence Park, IPL Independence Park Limited, and we are having a substandard thing. And the stadium in itself needs overall, it needs refurbishing. Long gone are the days where we have people sitting in the bleachers in hot sun burning up all day. We need to get some covering for the bleachers, some canvas sort of things to make sure that we give our people better quality of life. So it is a wholesome look, and that's why the National Sports Council is very important, because I don't have all the answers, and even if I have realized issues, I don't have the technical capacity. You need advisors, you need people within specific space, because nobody has the monopoly on knowledge. And this government sometimes takes that approach that they probably see and know everything, but they don't necessarily provide the space or convince everything. So that is how I see it for now. Sorry if I took too long with your answer.
No, man, that's fine. You give me a lot of information, And you know what I'm very happy for? I'm very happy that we have a sportsman as the spokesperson on sports.
Thank you, Sam.
It's long overdue that we have a sportsman, because you get to understand the intricacies of not only your sport, but sports in general. Right? Now, you brought up something a little earlier about athletes not getting the visas in time for international competition. And I remember last year, the athletes had issues accessing visas to go to the World Games in the US. I don't know if you remember. It was either last year or a year. Last year was 2023, the year before. Right. This is no, Comrade Hinds, I'm a physiotherapist. I work with the national athletics team. And I can tell you that athletics has been on the decline in the last, let us say, 5 years, to the point where some of the games, even we had one delegation that went to Puerto Rico this year, and it was 8, one of the junior teams. We couldn't even put together a relay team. Look what happened the other day with the world relays and our inability to qualify for the Olympic 4x4. Have you ever seen this happening in history.
Yeah, I understand. It is quite unfortunate. That one. I know I'm not holding the government responsible for another sovereignty's border control and visa issue.
I am.
What I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm saying that you can develop a relationship and develop a mechanism um, to work. And if there's a emergency where you need to go, then emergencies are what they are, emergencies. But we can't operate in emergency mode on a normal basis. Emergency must be an exception to the rule. It cannot be the
Exactly.
rule.
Exactly.
So I am just saying that we need to develop the relationship with the National Sports Council through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to say that we are a country that participates in these events. We go to World Championship, we go to Olympics, we go to Junior World Juniors, we go to under 19 cricket, under football qualifiers, we go to Sunshine Girls, go and play netball, and we venture. So we establish a relationship through the sport instead of having each individual association doing it themselves. If we have a sports council that represents what we do and say it in advance, I'm thinking that the process can be done a little bit easier. But the sports council has not been used, so we would not understand what the benefit of that is at this current stage. What we are practicing now is unfortunate. What has brought me to this visa issue, if I remember well, I think it's earlier this year, there's a young man who attended Monroe College who got a football scholarship and could not take up a scholarship because he was not awarded a visa. And one of the things that was said, the university scholarship, was that the time that he applied was not good enough. He would have gone outside the span. It was not done. And I'm saying we can't allow opportunities like that to go by the wayside for our young people for their personal development. If we can get them overseas to get proper training so that they can build their capacity and they get empowered, then it is easier for them to come back and treat with their country. And even if they don't come back, they can still support their loved ones from overseas, as we know remittance is a big part of our livelihood in Jamaica and how it takes care of families right across the length and breadth of Jamaica. So it is important that we think on these things. Relationships are always better than trying to do a quick fix. And I think the National Sports Council has a critical role to play in how we advance sports in a very big way. But sports has a long way to go. There's much to it. It is a multi-million-dollar industry today. And I certainly believe that sports has reached a point now where it needs to be considered as a standalone sector.
I agree. A standalone ministry.
Yes, standalone ministry where it can certainly vie for its own resources and write its own papers and position papers going forward, so that it can contribute positively to the socio-economics of Jamaica and, of course, contribute to the GDP of our country.
Yeah, very exactly. I totally agree. So the sports council that we had, I am guessing that it would have drawn together interests, including from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which would have made, apart from sports, foreign, it would have put together experts from various from various ministries, so they could liaise to right.
So what you would need while you can't get every ministry, you will need the expertise. So you'll need a legal mind. Yes. You'll need somebody from the major sports and maybe somebody from the Jamaica Olympic Association, which is an umbrella association that covers a lot of sports. So you'll have representatives from there, so they in themselves can represent what the other sports who are not as prominent as the ones that I mentioned earlier, but they are important as well.
So you have the golden goose, the golden egg layers, like the cricket, the tracks, and the football and the netball, and then
cricket, tracks, netball. Yes, those are the major ones we are accustomed to. Table tennis, lawn tennis. Just those are the ones we grew up knowing and understand. But I think the last time I checked, I was at 40 something. I was told that it is in excess of 50 something sports we have now.
Yeah.
In Jamaica. Yeah,
all
so
archery.
To consider that we're thinking it wide and we're not leaving anybody out, not because we're the conversation is around cricket and we have segued a little bit of football. We consider all sport to be important.
Exactly.
There are opportunities in sports, so not everybody will make it to the national level or the elite level. But if if someone like Kamala plays sports at the high school level and love the sport so bad and go off to university to study and become the CEO of a prominent company, then the sporting organization that she loves will want to always interface with corporate Jamaica to get support. And if somebody is at the CEO is sports minded and has passion for it, it is easier to have that relationship than to deal with somebody who does not understand the value of sports. The Ministry of National Security would have used sports in its initiative to quell relationships, to build and bridge gaps in communities where there are volatile and volatility and hostility among commuters and neighboring communities, and that has been a very useful tool. So sport is a social engineering tool that speaks a language that politics and not many other things, maybe only music, speaks a language that sports speaks that people don't understand, but it gets you to come together. It takes away the pain, it brings joy, it makes people happier, whether they are participating on the field or they are participating as spectators, whether they're participating in the media. So it has that sort of diversity to it, and we need to understand that we need to use it in the most positive way to grow our people, to develop our people, promote them, empower them, and to help to make sure that this country is richer for it. We have a great legacy in sports, and we have been world renowned in many different sectors of the sporting divide, and we have the capacity to even build on that, and even the new sports to become world beaters in those as well. We have teams qualifying for rugby, World Cup. We had a bobsledge in the snow. We're a tropical country, but we have people pushing bobsled and moving. We have young golfers who want to break in on the international scene. So we need to just create the space for them and allow them and make sure that they can go forward. They can't help all at once, but nothing is stopping us from making progress so that we can feel that there's hope for everybody in the not too distant future.
Indeed. All right. Now, I want to touch back to the events that happened at Sabina Park over the weekend, where Comrade P.J. Patterson, our longest serving Prime Minister, was not acknowledged by the Minister of Sports, even though he sat beside the Prime Minister. Now, how do you feel about that, and what steps have you taken so far in terms of remedying? I don't even know how you can remedy that situation, but what steps have you taken so far?
Well, I don't know. I did not create that problem, and I don't think I am in a position to remedy it. But what I can say is that I was in that very box on Saturday at the second T20 game. That was the president's, the Jamaica Cricket Association president's box, where we are all invited. And I made sure that I greeted our Prime Minister and our Minister of Sports, because they are representing the two good offices of Jamaica, and that is paramount. That is what thing. I am always a institution and office person. I am not an individual and officer person. So I respect the institution and the office. So it doesn't matter if I think that you are not doing a good job or doing a good job. If you are in your capacity and I see you, I have a duty as a Jamaican, as a patriotic Jamaican, to give the office and the officer the respect and the institution. So I abide by that at all times. So my personal feeling doesn't come into that, because my subconscious has always been that I am an institution and officer person. So it doesn't matter who is the president of the People's National Party, they will have my respect. And that's how I operate. And the People's National Party will always be respected. I may not like the direction things are going, or I may not like what an individual officer may have done, but I will always show respect to the officer and the office and the institution. So I believe that it is just how people view things and what they do, and that is a matter for them to answer. But I know that I made sure we had a decent conversation surrounding sport and the landscape of Jamaica and how things are evolving. And I'm sure that they didn't feel that they were slighted in any shape or form, because I made sure that they were well received and respected, because that is a responsibility I have as a Jamaican and as a leader within the sporting sector.
Okay, but in terms of the action of the Minister of Education, of Sports, did you address it at all in your capacity as the opposition spokesperson?
No, because I saw it and I saw it. It was sent to me like a screenshot. So I know with social media and persons having technical skills in doing things to different posts and all that, I didn't want to go out to say or do anything that I wasn't sure of.
Okay.
I was subsequently told that an addition was made to that very post to then include and mention our good
No,
former Prime
no,
Minister.
she didn't add to the post. Actually, she made a subsequent post 12 hours
A
later.
subsequent post was made, see? So I heard that was made, so I guess that is their way of remedying the situation. But Comrade PJ Patterson, our former Prime Minister, stands in high office and in the minds and is hinged in the minds of Jamaicans and West Indians as an elder statesman who stand up, have stood up tall and firm for the people of the Caribbean, in whether it be Haiti or it be Chris Gayle having issues with Cricket West Indies, or it be Shelley and Fraser Price needing support, or Veronica Campbell, or whatever it may be, whether he's a prime minister or not, he has always been there for his people. So the people within the cricketing circle, I can assure you, respect him. And the persons who attend cricket are very respectful of him. And the persons who saw the post and saw what it is like would have poured scorn on it and would have poured
Yes.
cold water on it in a very big way. So I think that is sufficient. We are here to serve the people, and if the people have displayed their disapproval to such behavior, then sometimes enough is said and silence is gold in situations like those. It is the onus is on persons who want to operate in a very low life manner. We don't need to say anything, but Comrade Peter Patterson is well respected, and I was happy to see him there, and so were the other fans, and we acknowledge that even in his most senior stages of life, he's still an ardent fan of cricket, and he was out showing his support to his fellow Caribbean brothers.
Definitely. She came under a lot of pressure, a lot of public scrutiny, so I'm very happy that Jamaican people are holding them to a higher standard, because this is something that seems to be happening with the government, the members of the government, repeatedly. We had a similar incident with Alanda Terrelong a few weeks ago, and I mean, where the same Comrade Patterson as well as Comrade Portia Simpson Miller, he blotted their faces with the flags,
Yeah, but what I would say to that, Comrade Kamala, is that Comrade Terrelong cannot block out the highways that PJ Patterson would have conceptualized and built. He cannot block out the high schools that he would have built. He can't block out the technology that he brought to them. The very technology he's using, PJ Patterson would have been the one who masterminded through the help of Comrade Philip Paulwell when he was minister. That cannot be blocked out. He cannot block out Portia Simpson's, Comrade Portia Simpson's Miller effort as Prime Minister with the help of Comrade Peter Phillips as Finance Minister to bring Jamaica from the edge of the precipice financially when we're economy to bring about it, to be enjoying what they're enjoying now. So it's fine if they're going to, what you can understand in life, you cannot separate what you do from who you are,
That is true.
And who you are will always come out. You cannot separate what you do from who you are. They can't block out the impact that our leaders have had on this country. Comrade PJ Patterson and Comrade Portia Simpson Miller. So when they go that way, just remind the country of of the leaders' contribution to the country, and it is no secret. The constituents of Southwest St. Andrew will know that Mr. Terrelong's action is despicable and unfortunate, but they will remember the good that Comrade Portia Simpson Miller would have done for the constituents, and so with the people of Eastern Westmoreland, where Comrade Peter Patterson would have represented over many years in a very impressive way. The longest serving Prime Minister is former PJ Patterson, and former Portia Simpson Miller, the first female Prime Minister of the country. Comrade Terrelong can't block those things out.
That is right.
It needs to be the niche that he's creating for himself. You remember for the blocking out those persons. So his legacy is quite unfortunate, while the legacy of Comrade Portia Simpson Miller and PJ Patterson lives on in the most memorable way.
Quite right. All right, Comrade, I want to turn your attention now over to the Labour portfolio. Now, a lot is happening in Labour. We've seen where these all of the trade unions. Of course, you also are president for a trade union, the West Indies Players Association. We've seen where all of these trade unions have yet to come to a final agreement with the government, even now, even though from last year, it's been over a year since the Minister of Finance, Nigel Clark, has been boasting and bragging about settling. But we're seeing a lot, we're still seeing some of these trade unions up in arms. Can you give me, I mean, from your perspective as a spokesperson, can you tell me where some of these negotiations are? Who are some of these entities that still have yet to settle with the finance ministry?
Well, what I can say, because sometimes if you understand the industrial relations, you'll understand that sometimes information you receive it from sources that doesn't wish to be disclosed because of fear, and we're still operating in that space which we need to get rid of, because everybody's rights, all workers' rights should be respected, protected at all times, in all places. Mm-hmm. That is not necessarily the case happening in Jamaica at this stage. Definitely. But I know that the public sector review compensation package has gone south in many ways. Mm-hmm. And while the government would give the impression that all is well, people are still getting their salaries late. So they'll get their prime salary, but in terms of allowances and overtime and all those things, those are coming later after the fact. I think they have asked a particular group to forego the increases if it's not the doctors. I think it's the doctors.
Yes.
Because the doctors in the national interest, because they don't have enough money to pay. No, they would have done the review saying that they know where the monies are coming from, and they would have beat their chest and not the decks in Parliament about the monies, but the monies are not coming. And so the public sector is very, very uncomfortable. The doctors, the teachers, and nurses, we would have gone through where persons' allowances and everything, traveling, everything was lumped in one, and they have been told that they get a pay increase. Mm-hmm. But when they get their paycheck, the disposable is far less than when they used to have first half position. If you go to also where we have the port managers, where they're trying to remove the port people, the people who manage the port, and to bring them back into the customs ring to see if they can be a part of the customs or a redundancy process is going through realization and a rationalization of that, and bringing the persons who they are taking on to the customs here needs to have a first degree as the first part of the criteria. You need to have a first degree. So persons are working there for 20 years. And they don't have for 15 years, they don't have a first degree, but they have the experience. Mm-hmm. They know the job inside out.
Right.
And they won't be allowed to continue in the field. They want to serve nationally, they want to still make a contribution in that field. That's where they have the expertise, because they would have applied the trade there and they would have understand the job inside out. Mm-hmm. They're going to be redundant and not have anywhere to go to exercise their skills that they have developed. So the labor laws are what they are, but in terms of how the government is executing labor, it is quite unfortunate that they're not going about it right. We still have the issue with the security guards and the contract work.
I was about to ask you. That was my next question. The contract workers.
The courts would have ruled in a particular way, but I don't know if the government is holding the employees or the employers accountable to where that is concerned. So we have that thing. There's also the BPOs. Mm-hmm. They are not allowed to be unionized, and there are issues with the BPOs that we need to speak to. And of course, the hotel workers are under siege. They don't get the tips when they get it. They go straight to the company. They don't get paid properly, don't get treated properly, and it's a whole. And those persons are persons who are under contract, temporary work. Persons who would have been working for 8-10 years, and they get 10 1-year contract, which is
ridiculous. Yeah.
There's no tenure. There's no tenure. You have no job security. You cannot go to any sector in society and enjoy the social benefits of getting a mortgage, taking out a health insurance, just about nothing you can participate in. You can't even, if you don't have a own house, you can't even get somewhere to rent because they can't show
You
a
can't
potential
show any.
landlord a contract to say that you earn X amount, so he can give you a 1 year lease to say, let me rent you the place a 1 year. You can't, because there's no tenure. No, nobody can work somewhere for 10 years and get 10 1 year contract. That is, after a couple of years, you're an employee, and you should be treated accordingly. Yeah, you should be given a job letter that says you're now an employee and you have access to these benefits and such reductions are deducted and all those things. So I am very concerned about it. We'll be having meetings with different union groups at different times and different sectors in society, and it is the labor as it is. Persons are under threat. We know how this government operates, so we do not want to expose those persons. While we want to help them to solve the issue, we are very mindful that we want to protect them and protect their jobs, so that they can look after themselves and their families.
Indeed. Now, when the PNP becomes government, because a lot of people have a lot of issues with this whole public sector wage negotiation, and I know this doesn't include you alone as the spokesperson on labor, but it would also include Comrade Julian as the spokesperson on finance. But what are some of the differences that you would make, seeing, as far as I'm concerned, you're the minister in waiting? What would be some of the pressing, urgent issues that you would address when you become the minister?
Well, some of the things we want to discuss we discuss with the policy commission of the People's National Party, and through with the task force of the labor sector, and of course ultimately with our leader, Comrade Mark Gole. But as I said, for instance, the BPO, we will want to make sure that the BPOs are you meet with the investors, the persons who are owners, to show them and put on the table in front of them means of ways of how we can treat the workers differently to get them more efficient and productive, so that the employer will benefit and the workers will feel that they are wanted and respected and are treated fairly, so that, because a fair day's work deserves a salary that is commensurate.
A fair compensation, yeah.
Yes, right. So I think we want to go down that road, because we don't want to take a tribal approach that will chase investors away, especially in the BPO sector. As for the hotel, the same kind of approach to show them how we can put in different policies, codes, and for the workers. Code of ethics, code of conduct, and just different compensation packages that will get the worker motivated, that there's no low morale in worker morale, and get them motivated and enthused, and get the space to be attractive, so potentially other persons on the outside will want to be a part of the sector. And in the same breath, they become more effective and efficient, and so that the industry can boom. So there's a way to do it to make sure you create that balance, because if you don't have any employer, you can't have any employees. But if the employees are not comfortable and operating properly, then the employer can't meet their objectives. Going into business ultimately is to make sure that you make a profit. Indeed. While you're providing a service or while you're selling goods. So in layman terms, so we that is the approach we'll take, without getting into much more, because I will have to still link, as I said earlier, with the policy commission, with the task force, and of course ultimately with the party leader when that time comes, if I am named the minister. It is always up to the party leaders to make that decision. So I speak in hypothetical terms, and I speak.
But at least you have a plan.
Well, a bad plan is better than no plan. So I'm always a man with a plan. Yes.
Exactly. All right. Now, as the Deputy General Secretary of Outreach and Recruitment, I know that the comrades want to hear something about this, because we are always concerned with how things are going from that aspect. Every day on this live, we get people coming on to say, boy, the PNP needs to do more for in terms of recruiting people on the ground. So talk to me now about that aspect. Tell us something that will reassure the comrades on this live that listen. The PNP, we are attracting new young blood. We are doing what we're supposed to do in terms of recruiting young comrades, not just young, old, everybody, as well as the outreach program.
All right, so that's a very good question, and it is also is always, you're correct in saying that it is always a concern for the comrades, knowing that they are there. I heard a comrade on Sunday, which is yesterday, at the conference, say that they have seen that they're making a presentation, and the person said, I see a few faces that I know who are stalwarts and things, but I see a lot of new faces, which is a very good thing. That means the party is progressing and moving. And I say that to say this, that the portfolio that I have as outreach and recruitment DJs, we take the approach where we're doing sector mingles.
Okay.
So I started out with sports because that's my portfolio.
Yes.
Started with and entertainment because sports is a part of entertainment, and we would have done sector mingles, and they mingle with the leader and the officers of the party, and so we'll bring them in at different times. And these are just the practitioners in the field who are not, because I would not be inviting a comrade to it. I am going to be invited someone who is not a PMP, who does not wear their collar on their sleeve,
right,
who is a main player in the industry. And we bring them in a formal way and to try to have conversations with them to see what we're doing, how we are going about what we're doing, and how we will position ourselves when we become the next government. And also, because it is a mingle, we also take advice and information from them as to what is best practice and what direction they think is best for the particular sector going. So we have done sport and entertainment. We want to do education and security, given what is happening in high school. And out of that, with our family relationships with the players in the industry, gotten feedback. And then out of that, we have persons gathering a database on the ground, on the night, and they may not be members immediately, but we have the information. We start to share newsletter, WhatsApp messages, thing with them, what we're doing. And I expect that to matriculate into them becoming members of the party and supporters of the People's National Party. So that is the approach we're taking right now. Outside of that, we're still attending events and meeting and greeting. We had we're part of the support to the PMP Wavell, having our party leader at the University of the West Indies speaking to youngsters sometime last year, and we want to do that to go to the different tertiary institution and then the sixth farmers. So we're kind of doing
very good.
Right. So those are the things we're doing underground. And we partner as well with the Welfare Commission, because sometimes persons see things happening. So we partner with the Welfare Commission, and we have been to the boys' home, about Clifton Boys' Home in Westmoreland. We've been to Manchester, St. Elizabeth. We've been to a couple boys' home. We are part of reaching out to our party workers during Mother's Day and those things, trying to help them. So, and showing respect and appreciation to them. Teachers Day and all those things. So we are underground. We do some things on our own, and we partner with some things because no man has the monopoly on knowledge. So we think teamwork is best. So that is the approach I have taken. The committee likes it, and we're trying to, and we can assure the PMP people that we have gotten a lot of new recruitments, and they have signed up some of up to go the route of direct membership. Those have been presented to the party's executive. They have been approved, so they are now in their provisional 7-month period where they will wait that time, and they have some have received their letters already that they are in that phase. And once that is done, then they become full members. So it is going well. We have improvements? Yes, we can. But we're trying to juggle that as a DJs with doing the party work, doing audits, as I've done before, doing reviews since local government, and now attending divisional conferences. So it's a lot of work, and doing shadow spokesperson, DJs work for outreach, and also DJs for hardcore party work behind the scenes, which cannot be mentioned.
Definitely.
In this space, because it is exactly what it is: internal, private
work. Right. Excellent. All right. No, before we open up for questions, I want to ask you now about Northern Clarendon. And without going into too much detail, just give us an overview as to what are your plans for Northern Clarendon in terms of getting that seat organized and ready for you to become the MP.
Well, as I said earlier, I want to thank the leadership of the party for entrusting in me the confidence to do that, and of course the leadership of the constituency and other influential and constituents on the ground in Northern Clarendon. My plan is to first listen and learn, meet the leadership. I've started that process, and meet and listen to what the history of the constituency is. I have some knowledge of it, but I don't know the intricacies of it, and try and fit in. It is in rural Jamaica. It has a large farming community. There's a lot of young people there that would need training in the various different areas. That is critical. There is for the kids and developing children, the education, secular education system that we need to attend to. I have had the opportunity. My good friend Hugh Meredith was chairman for the Claude McKay High School and the Children's Primary. Yes, and
my good friend too.
He had asked me, maybe it is a blessing in disguise. He had asked me about 2 years ago to adapt both schools to develop their cricket.
Okay.
And I just said yes, and I drove down. I just drove down there to meet with him. And when I was in Maypen, he called me and said, "Where you are?" And I told him, and he said, "But I was coming to your house to pick you up." I said, "When you tell me that?" I was already on my way because I am excited about young people and development, because so many people poured into my life to reach where I'm at on this phone talking to you now, that I am indebted to the people, and I just think that a good way of saying thanks to the persons who would have done so. Some are still alive, some are our blessed memory, is to make sure that I help some other person. So I would have gone to Claude McKay, I would have adapted them, handed over cricket, more importantly, interface with the young men and the young ladies and spoken to the young men team continuously. Same was done for James Hill.
Right.
And so it's not the first time I'm going in that space. And I would have been there. I happened to play cricket in Clarendon most Sundays in the Clarendon Masters competition, because I'm not spring chicken anymore. So I play Masters competition, which is an over 40 competition.
Right.
And I play for a team that Mr. Meredith is from, he's my friend. I play for a team, and the Clarendon is divided into districts. So you have Central, South has 2 teams, and you have North, and I play for North Clarendon.
Okay.
And I've been playing for North Clarendon now for 3 seasons, 3 years.
Okay.
So I know a lot of the guys who from the Crooked River area into Killit, Salos area. They're my teammates. So when they're told today that I was going to North Clarendon, they were overly excited.
That's very good.
I didn't plan it. It just happened.
That way.
Yeah. So it is. But it is. I have relatives in Spalding. My grandmother would have been a teacher in Comrade seat in Alston. She was principal, so I spent many holidays in Alston as a youngster. My grandmother was principal at Alston Primary, Mrs. Ivy Simpson.
Okay.
So nice. She lived on the school cottage, so I understand the education. I would have packed many cornmeal flour, bulgur, bought many khaki uniform, shirt, and so packaging and distribution to the people when they come during August, when I was there for some holidays, because that's when they would have come about the second week of August, and she would have packaged them out for the children to start school in September. So I'm now stranger to Clarendon, and I have been there regular. So I think I'll get my way around. I've made enough relationship, and then the good sport that I play, cricket, would have taken me through the 14 parishes about 14,000 times.
Exactly.
So I should be fine. I should be fine.
And you and you know, the fact that you're a household name, the fact that cricket as a sport unifies communities, and you are an ambassador for the sport. So of course that will also help you to go a long way. The comrades on the live are wishing you all the best in your endeavors in the seat.
And I don't want to forget that I will be seeking big guidance from Comrade Anthony O'Connor,
Definitely.
the current chairman of the constituency and former chairman and former member of parliament, sixth-term member of parliament, Comrade Harris Daly, who have both pledged their support wholeheartedly.
Exactly.
And will be taking me through, holding my hand and taking me through. So we are going to be a united force going there.
I have faith that you will do right by that constituency. I am not worried about you in Northern Clarendon at all.
Yes, we'll be doing the work.
Yeah.
We will put in the best foot forward because the People's National Party need to take the reins of government to make sure that we, like Portia Simpson-Miller and Peter Phillips did, rescue the country from the financial precipice. I think we have a social and governance deficit that needs to be reversed quickly and to be put set straight. And Mark Jefferson Golden is the most qualified person at this point in time to lead our country in that direction.
You won't get any arguments from me with that. All right, so we have a few people who want to ask you some questions. Kemar, let me take your question.
Yeah, good night. Good night to Right Mango. Good night to my MP to be. Proudly say my MP to be. Yeah, I was here listening you so much. Yeah, I listen you so much and I'm proud of you. Because the Master League where you play in Penance, Clarendon. Yes, and I'm from Morgan. I am from Morgan's Pass, PA, Clarendon. That is part of the constituency where you are representing now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a full supporter of the People's National Party. I work with Mr. Daly. I work with Tony O'Connor. Tony O'Connor is my counsellor now.
Okay, very good. Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah, so the Kellits, we have the Kellits division with Troy, and then you have the Crosshill division with Tony O'Connor. Tony O'Connor in division is the biggest division. And Indian Town division.
Yes,
yeah, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because one day we're gonna meet.
Hopefully soon. Thanks, man.
Yeah, pretty soon because my community is Morgan's Pass, PA, Clarendon.
Yes, man. We'll meet.
Yeah, when you come by the Penance Bridge, you turn right. That is the start of the constituency.
No problem. Thanks much.
Yeah, you have a nice constituency. Cricket, all people love cricket, football. Mr. Daly used to run football competition inside.
Yes. Well,
yes.
Ask if we're going to have sporting events up there. Don't leave out netball for the ladies.
That's right.
Don't leave them out. Please and thanks.
Yes. Yes, he used to have netball competition, football, the cricket. Morgan's Pass play one of the most cricket and football.
Yes, man. We'll be having, we can start the those three for the guys who can't run up and down. We play some dominoes.
Yes, because Rudolph Astin is from Morgan's Pass. We play for the national team for Jamaica.
And if I can tell you something, I saw Rudolph during the Easter holidays. He still plays football for Portmore United.
For Portmore, Portmore, yes.
Right. I saw him, but he's a cricketer, so. But his brother,
yeah.
Let me tell you that story. His brother is Melbourne Astin, who is my personal friend. And when I first went to England to play league cricket in a place called Oldham, Manchester, very cool at the top of hills. Melbourne Astin was in that era as a senior professional for many years before I came, which was 1999. And he was the one who came for me at my box and took me out and took me to a place called Yorkshire Street to open up my bank account at the NatWest Bank.
Wow.
Did the references.
Okay.
And we have maintained friendships from now until then. So from then until now. So Rudolph is somebody I know. I respect him. Former Jamaica captain, football captain.
Yes. And the next thing I want to say, one man where him monitor the Master League his name is Barry Sanders. I don't know if you heard of that name.
Barry Sanders, I know Mindy, Barry Sanders, I know Bruce, Wilton Bruce is the captain. you married it.
No, Barry Sanders is the man who cut the penance field. He's the man where organize everything.
When I pay finance, man interact with him.
Yeah. Because Barry Sanders is a nice guy. But you're dropping a nice seat, so we're gonna work. And we're gonna do work and we're gonna take back our seat from civil.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, Comrade Kemar.
And big up yourself until we meet. We'll meet up in a Clarendon because the journey start from tomorrow. We have to take off the water boot, take off the clocks and put on the water boot if you say.
That's right.
Okay, no problem.
And walk the hills. And I'm willing to walk the hills and the valley with you. Show you a right road.
I appreciate it.
Because I know the four corner of that constituency.
No problem.
Thank you, Comrade Kemar.
Yeah, big up yourself. I will
care.
listen to your sermon. Big up. Yeah.
All right, Comrade Hugh Richards.
Good afternoon, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Comrade Hinds.
Go ahead, Comrade Hugh. Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
I can tell Comrade Hinds that is a good because the entire Salem district is my family. Every last one.
Okay.
They're related to they're related. Henry McCurdy and myself. We're all family. Right, that whole entire district.
Henry McCurdy from Montego Bay.
No, his father is from Jamesville. That is Salem district. That's where
I should say St. James.
Yes, he lived there now, but his family, the McCurdy, they are from Jamesville, Salem to be exact.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So, Comrade Ernest Daly will introduce to a lot of my family who are supporters of his fundraiser and things like that, especially Carmen Johnson, who is in New York. So, so it's a good place there. Yeah, I guess a lot of my family will working with you. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Bless up yourself.
Comrade Hugh, somebody asking if you know Cooper from Salem.
At Cooper? No, I don't. I know. I tell you, I don't grow there, and I say everybody in my family though.
Oh, okay.
The Parry, the Parry and the McCurdy, they are my family there. All the Parrys and the McCurdy. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
The
Thanks.
whole entire thing, district. Yeah, cool.
All right. Take care. All right. Comrade Rado Radcliffe. Comrade Rado Radcliffe, welcome.
Yes, good evening, Kamla. Good evening to you, Wavell. Good evening to you, Comrade Hinds. Comrade, you hearing me? Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I must say, you see, Comrade Hinds, I am Northern Clarendon. I am from Southeast. I must say also from Southeast, yeah. But they not necessarily get the nod at Southeast, but they say what drop off a head, drop on shoulder. And I am from Clarendon, from Northern Clarendon. Northern Clarendon is the parish of my birth. So there are some constituency, that is very close to my heart, and Northern Clarendon is one of those constituency, right? For many reasons. And I must tell you, Wavell, that I have a added respect for you. I've added respect for you due to the fact that you are going through to Northern Clarendon. It is a constituency that is winnable, and if you stay close to the people, I know the people will support you. So I'm just appealing at this time to the people, to my relatives and my friends who are not in Northern Clarendon to support you, because I do believe that you will make them a very good MP. So just prepare to go into the hills and the valleys and stay with the people. And once you stay with the people will stay with you. So all the best to you, Comrade Hinds. All the very best to you in that constituency.
Thank you very much, sir. And I hope you will continue to reach out to your family so that
I will. And if I have to walk with you as well, I'm prepared to do so. All right.
I welcome everybody.
Yes, man. Big up yourself. Yeah, man. Big up yourself and all the best. You hear?
Yeah, man. Big up yourself.
Yeah, man. Yes, cool. All right. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Comrade Rado.
You're welcome, Kamla. Yeah,
All
man.
right.
You're welcome. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm inviting back Anne Marie because I know she was in the box. Comrade. All right. She's not coming back up. Anybody else want to ask any questions over there on YouTube? You can always type your questions and I will ask for you. Anybody else interested in asking Comrade Hinds any questions? Okay, somebody's coming up. Comrade Anne Marie.
Hi, Cam. Good night,
Hi. What's
comrades.
up?
Comrade Wavell, I am so proud of you tonight. I know you can talk, but no, man, you're gonna league. And I just want to say congratulations are really in order when you get in that seat. And I wish you all the best. But please remember, don't forget my cricket when it come on to Easter time, No, because you get seat now, you're going to forget me now. Please remember.
Yes. Me know. If it stress me out too. Comrade Anne Barham stress me out every single day of my life.
That's why I don't have to love me so.
That's why we love you.
Okay. I'm not hearing him.
No, he's saying
Repeat
that
what he said.
he's coming to give you support with your new candidate. Mute your mic, Anne Marie. Yeah, go ahead now, Comrade Wavell.
Yeah, I'm saying that candidate in Comrade Wickham McNeils, I'm coming to give you some support because everybody needs support at some stage in time.
And
So
we will definitely come and give you some too.
of course. He did when I was in Hanover, and he was in Region 6 at West West, so we're no strangers.
Excellent.
So we have to help each other. So I don't go and leave you alone.
Okay. Nice to know. Thank you.
All right, Comrade Anne, take care.
Yeah, bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Comrade Florence. Welcome, Comrade Florence. Good night, Comrade Florence. Comrade Florence. Not hearing you. Comrade Florence, your audio want sort out. Sort out your audio and come back here. Because we're not hearing you at all. No, this is not working out for Comrade Florence at all. Comrade Florence, try again. All right. The road from Cave Valley to Trout Hall. PNP cut that road and made it like a Formula One track. Now it is the worst road in Clarendon. The entire road is one big pothole. That is from Sim. You know that area, Comrade Wavell?
I know Kia Valley, and I know Chota, but I don't know that road.
Okay, so Sim is saying that the road is very, very bad. She's also asking you about the road, plans for the road through Bullhead, the one that run through James Hill.
Yeah, we were doing a road tour, not necessarily to thing, but to investigate and see the road network of Northern. So I'll be in a better position after I would have gone through that process to say what the plans will be going forward. But thanks for the heads up in naming those two, and I've noted them down.
All right, Comrade Jomo Pinkney is offering you dub plates.
Dub plates.
So, okay. Comrade Jomo saying when you're ready, you talk to him about the dub plates.
Yeah, man. See, the entertainment sector is also on the ground there. So thanks, Jomo, for the offer.
Excellent.
And if you can share your details, the camera, that will be good.
Yeah, man, I have him details. I will pass them on to you.
Very good, very good.
Yes.
Thanks much.
You're most welcome. All right. I think that is it now, Comrade Wavell. I want to thank you so much for coming on Politics Church Nightly with me. And I know that the comrades are very excited to have had you and to have heard from you. I don't know if there's any other period where them hear so much from you in one interview.
No, I think probably this is the most I've done in my entire politics.
Wow, Lord, see it there, comrades. See it there.
I don't know what the camera I would have done to draw me out so far, but it happened.
I'm proud of myself. Yeah, man. Thank you.
It was a pleasure being on, and thanks for the invite, and thanks for the conversation.
Yeah, man, and it has to happen again. As we go on, we want to hear more from you, so don't be a stranger.
No,
I will go set up a TikTok account for you. You need to be on TikTok.
Alright, I'll leave that to you and Tara.
Yes, definitely. All right, Comrade River. Thank you so much. Take care.
You and your audience. Have a good night. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, comrades, I hope you're happy. I hope you're pleased. I hope that you are content with the discussion that we had. It was a very good discussion. We spoke to Comrade Wavell about all aspects of his career as a comrade. We spoke about his being the spokesperson of sports. We spoke about sports. Thank you, Twitch. We spoke about labor. We spoke about his role as the Deputy Gensec of Outreach and Recruitment. And we also spoke about his recent appointment as the MP candidate for Northern Clarendon. So it was very comprehensive. Thank you, Rado. Thank you very much.